Assassin's Creed Shadows is coming out in less than 3 weeks, and I have information about Endgame, about trading, and of course about progression. So how do we progress from a novice to a master in Assassin's Creed Shadows? First of all, I think this is the best progression system in Assassin's Creed has ever seen. I know it's a wild take, but hear me out. Ubisoft just shared an article, and the creative director Charles Benoit was giving us also a bunch of information at yesterday's Fanfest from IGN. So how does it work? So both characters have different masteries, depending on their weapons and tools. Each of them have then specific archetypes, so Naoi has the Shinobi and Assassin mastery, and Yasuke, of course, the Samurai mastery. And we need those masteries to move on inside the game, to have a better angle on certain fortresses, defeat enemies easier, so there are a bunch of obstacles where we need better masteries to have a better gameplay. This time the progression system is split into two systems. On one side you have the knowledge ranks from 1 to 5, and on the other side you have mastery points. The point about the mastery points, no pun intended, is that we definitely know that from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. You know, you do open world activities, you complete quests, you get points, and with those points you get abilities for your weapons or for your character. The knowledge ranks are completely new inside the Assassin's Creed universe. The creative director Charles Benoit was comparing the knowledge ranks and the mastery points with body and mind. And I think it's a wonderful approach on that. It is very logic and it fits right into the culture, it fits right into the gameplay of a game that takes place in Japan. In this case, body stands for the mastery points and the mind stands for the knowledge ranks. Knowledge can be obtained through non-violent activities like finding a lost pages in a temple, meditation, learning new kata for Yasuke, or praying in a shrine. By ranking up your knowledge, you unlock more masteries, which you need to continue and to ease up your gameplay inside Assassin's Creed Shadows. This way, we are really engaged to discover new places, collect different items, and it's really incentivizing to not only follow the main quest. In this case, you can see that Naoi is not able to perform a double assassination. This would have been easier. So we need to get to knowledge rank 2 to then collect enough mastery points to get the ability double assassination. That's what is shown here in the example, and you can see it's way easier to infiltrate a fortress or to move along. So how can we earn those mastery points then? Well, that's very easy, you know that from previous games. You can either level up, complete quests, or defeat very deadly enemies like this samurai daisho here that can only be found inside this castle. And no worries, both characters share their progression, so no one is left behind. I think the system is wonderful and seems like it's very balanced out. We are engaged to level up, to finish quests, to complete fortresses, but also incentivized to discover new places, enjoy the open world, and also to slow down a bit and meditate and go to a temple. So I really love this system and I can't wait to play it for real. But do you know what would make this progression even better? If we would have a reason, motivation to go back to a specific place on the map. Let's say in the first 5 hours we don't have the grappling hook and we encounter places, mountains, buildings that we cannot reach because of the missing grappling hook. By getting the grappling hook, we are able to do that and we are able to get the chest we wanted where a legendary gear piece waits for us. You can extend that to the seasons as well. You can say, hey, during winter season, the secret cave underneath the lake is not reachable, of course, because the lake is frozen. In summer, it is. Stuff like that. I don't know if that's coming. They are playing with the seasons at least. If you heard anything, let me know down below, please. That would be super interesting because the possibilities are there. It's not like a problem of the engine. They are able to do that. They are able to limit our movement. They're already doing it. I can't remember who was saying that, but we cannot climb all the walls and all the mountains, and similar to Assassin's Creed Mirage. And why not play with it a little bit more? But now let's talk about Endgame. How's it gonna look like when you completed and unlocked almost every mastery, every knowledge rank? Let me give you an example that comes from the creative director Charles Benoit. So imagine, to unlock the highest assassination tier, to be a master assassin, you not only need to have enough knowledge to get to that rank, it's also tied to specific activity, or in this case, specific targets you need to eliminate. He was giving us the example of this specific group that are called Godai Shinobi. And for me, this makes totally sense. Because to be a master assassin, you can be that by practicing defeating master assassins. So it's very logical, again, and I'm just in love with the detail they put into that game. Once you have the highest knowledge rank, once you've finished all the masteries, there will be a specific menu that will be unlocked, and it's called the knowledge tree, where you can increase the stats for specific weapons, for specific tools, or for your character. No more abilities, just stats as far as I understood it. Another way of engaging us to progress inside the game is by giving the enemies resistance. What do I mean by that? How easy you can defeat an enemy is not only dependent on your abilities and your knowledge rank, but also by your level of equipment. In this case, you start with your hidden blade, and as you can see, you can only remove 2 health segments. Meaning, in this case, you won't be able to assassinate this enemy guaranteed. Very easy consequence, you need to upgrade your gear or get an ability that is giving you an advantage against those enemies. To check out how effective you're going to be against this enemy, you can use the observe mechanic that is also shown in this video clip here. And also you can turn on guaranteed assassination if you want to. You can do that. I personally wouldn't recommend that because it's not the way Ubisoft intended it to be played. Especially if you take a look at the right balancing, you would probably always try to play with Noe when guaranteed assassination is turned on. So you will probably miss a big chunk of the experience Ubisoft has prepped for us. Regardless if you play with guaranteed assassination on or off, you need better gear at some point. And in Assassin's Creed Shadows you have different ways of obtaining gear, and you have also different qualities. Those are common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. Like in the old games, legendary ones, they have unique handpicked stats and gameplay-orientated perks. Let me just give you an example. You can find one legendary Naginata where you can parry unstoppable attacks. And that's a really cool perk, to be honest. But don't forget the epic gear. This is gear that adds a chance to have one of the core stats boosted, and if you're really lucky, it has a stronger perk than a legendary one. I mean, you know that probably from previous games, it was the same with Origins or Odyssey. Sometimes epic items were better than legendary. There are many ways to obtain perks. You can purchase them at a merchant, you can find them in a chest, or you can unlock them by completing specific in-game accomplishments. The best perks inside Assassin's Creed Shadows are obviously the legendary perks. Those are not only boosting your stats, but they are also changing the way you play the game. Let me give you an example on how you can use legendary perks to change your gameplay style. Here you can see Yasuke with a bow, and he is defeating a Samurai Daisho, so a very strong enemy with only 1 headshot. And that's only because he's using a legendary archer set with legendary perks. I can't wait to play this game because I'm imagining right now how this is gonna look like when I'm walking with Noe inside a fortress and defeating all the enemies, not by using the hidden blade, but by using a katana only. That would be dope. I almost forgot one beloved feature from the Assassin's Creed community, the Transmog feature. This will be available at launch, so you don't have to wait a couple of months. You only need to build your forge inside the hideout, and after that you can change gear looks from your inventory. You don't have to go back to the hideout to do that. This time there is an extra feature you're definitely gonna love. You're able to swap out weapon parts. So you can dismantle and mantle weapon parts. You can change the guard, the blade, the handle, and it's not only limited to the katana. You can also do that with other weapons. Before we move on and talk about Afflictions, let me just say one thing. I'm happy to be back. I wanted to make a proper video about me being away from YouTube. I've been doing videos about Assassin's Creed for a long time. For those of you who know me, thanks that you're back. For those of you who don't know me, welcome to the palace. But let's continue now. I'm just glad that you're still here. As I said, Affliction. This is a different way of optimizing your gameplay style. There are 4 types available: Bleed, Poison, Daze, and Knockout. Bleed is very self-explanatory. You have some additional damage you deal. Poison is also very simple. We've seen that in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Daze is a little bit different. We had that in a different way. While the enemy is dazed, the enemy will miss most of their attack attempts and they won't be able to defend your attacks. And Knockout is, also very simple. The enemy stays down on the ground for a certain amount of time. And this affliction is mostly induced by abilities or when an enemy is grabbed instead of assassinated, for example. What I actually miss is the burn affliction, because I was having a good time in Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla using my burn buffs against my enemies to defeat them easily. Well, maybe that wasn't a thing back then in Japan. Finally, let's talk about trading and the settlement. Trading will play a crucial role in pushing Novice and Yasuko's talents further. And there will be, like we used to know, merchants inside the city, in the open world, who sell different things, gear, resources, or cosmetics. But there will be also merchants who sell unique things that you can only find at their place and not anywhere else. So that's one thing to consider while running around Japan. Regarding the settlement, Ubisoft was so kind to share a little snippet of the settlement feature. We can see that we have a lot of freedom in terms of placing the buildings. Reminds me a lot of Sims, this top-down view. We have different cosmetic items we can place. We can even place animals. I think I will lose a lot of time in that process of building my perfect hideout. Regarding the buildings itself, I only know that we can use them, like the forge, for example, to engrave perks on gear, and I think there will be other items that will support our gameplay style in the future. That's everything for today, guys. I'll love to see you in the next video. Have a wonderful evening, and it's only 3 weeks away until we can play Assassin's Creed Shadows, so stay tuned and have a good one.